Overall, I'd have to say that the plot of Wings of Liberty was poor for several reasons. 1. Characters do things to create missions even though they have no logical reason to do these things. For example, Raynor is on Marsara even though Blizzard never provided any reason for him to ever be there. Interestingly, the game data indicates that in an earlier version of the first Marsara mission, Raynor was on Marsara because the Dominion had recently invaded it. Raynor then responds by launching an attack against the Dominion stockpile of weapons, changed to a logistics centre in the final version, so that he can arm the people of Marsara. Along the way, Raynor meets people who are too scared to fight the Dominion, many of whom were cut from the final version, defeats the Dominion soldiers, then hands out weapons to the people. This is why at the end of this mission, Raynor mentions that the people of Marsara now have the weapons to fight Mengsk. Though the game data doesn't explain why Raynor returns to a bar after defeating the Dominion, rather than going back to the Hyperion. So it's possible that in an early draft of these missions the characters had reasons for what they were doing, but these reasons were later changed or removed in later rewrites. However, this doesn't change the fact that the final version of some missions had an illogical plot. 2. Characters have opinions that change for no reason. For example, everyone agrees with culling the infested Terrans on Meinhof, but in the next mission on Haven they're all against this. What Blizzard should have done was choose a moral standpoint for each character on specific issues and make sure they stick to it. 3. People have opinions they shouldn't have. For example, the people on Korhol revolt against Mengsk after it was revealed that Mengsk put the psi emitters on Tarsonis, even though the people of Korhol hated the Confederacy and revolted against it, which resulted in the Confederacy nuking the entire planet, killing millions. So it makes no sense for the people of Korhol to hate Mengsk for using the Zerg to attack Tarsonis and destroy the Confederacy. Nor does it make any sense for most of the other planets in the Dominion to hate Mengsk, as most of these planets also hated the Confederacy. Only the refugees from Tarsonis should be revolting against Mengsk. 4. As the missions can be played in any order, Blizzard decided to take a lazy approach and decide that nothing you did in one mission would have any effect on another mission. So no one can have any character development or learn lessons because this would influence how they'd act in other missions. As a result, you end up with bland characters that the player doesn't care about because they don't grow or change based on which missions the player chooses to play. If each of the main characters on the Hyperion changed depending on which missions you played, or which order you played the missions in, they would have been much more memorable. 5. The dialogue is poor with the characters making speeches to no one. For example, on Char, Raynor was talking to Tychus and Warfield, then suddenly started making a motivational speech. Who was Raynor trying to motivate? Warfield? Tychus? Some random soldiers that were nowhere near him? At least in the original Starcraft the characters talked to each other, rather than talking to no one. 6. What exactly is Mengsk's plan? The only things I could come up with are A. Have Tychus join Raynor's raiders on the off chance that Raynor would somehow find a way to defeat all the Zerg on Char and turn Kerrigan human. In this plan, Tychus's main role would be to either shoot Kerrigan or encourage Raynor to shoot her. The fact that the artifact missions, which Tychus gives to Raynor, just happen to give Raynor a way to defeat Kerrigan is a coincidence. B. Have Tychus join Raynor's raiders and tell Raynor about these artifacts. Hope that Raynor will attack the Protoss to get these artifacts, even though Mengsk could have had the Dominion get these artifacts for him. Have his son or one of his generals secretly ally with Raynor. Then take half the Dominion fleet to Char without his knowledge. Remember, Mengsk opposed Valerian's invasion of Char, so it can't have been part of his plan. And hope that they're somehow able to use the artifact to defeat Kerrigan. In this plan, Tychus's main roles are to tell Raynor about the artifact, and to either shoot Kerrigan or encourage Raynor to shoot her. While Plan A is wishful thinking on Mengsk's part and relies on the artifacts coincidentally being useful, it does make more sense than Plan B, because if Mengsk knows that the artifacts can be used to defeat the Zerg, then why does he want his enemy to gather them? In either case, both plans would be more effective if they didn't involve Tychus or Raynor, as Mengsk could have accomplished his goal using the Dominion's armies. 7. Even though Tychus is working for Mengsk, he doesn't tell Mengsk about the alliance between Raynor and Valerian, the invasion of Char, and Raynor's plan to broadcast incriminating evidence on Korhol. One possible reason for this could be because originally he wasn't going to be in Wings of Liberty. In January 2010, Blizzard produced a trailer of an ordinary Marine having his armour being put on before being sent out to fight. However, this Marine became popular, so Blizzard decided to include him in a game they were planning to release in July 2010, giving them a maximum of 7 months to add Tychus to a story that would have been mostly finished. As this would have left Blizzard with few options regarding where to add Tychus, it's possible that Blizzard tried to add him to whatever realms were available without thinking about what effect this would have on the story. So the result is that Tychus alternates between being a representative for the Mobius Foundation, Mengsk's spy, and someone rebelling against Mengsk, rather than a consistent character. I feel the story would have worked better if Tychus was Valerian's spy and his main mission was to convince Raynor to join the invasion of Char, though in Blizzard's defence they did come up with a good reason why Tychus was being put in his suit. 8. Even though Raynor is meant to be the hero, he acts immorally because Blizzard was only concerned about moving the story forwards, and didn't think about the consequences of Raynor's actions. As a result, Raynor is shown starting revolts, then leaving the people to be crushed by the Dominion, and attacking the Protoss to steal their holy relics in exchange for money without any of his raiders ever questioning whether this is the right thing to do. So Blizzard, if you want your character to be considered a hero, they have to act in a moral way. Simply being the main character doesn't automatically make everything they do right. 9. Raynor has been retconned to be in love with Kerrigan. Raynor and Mengsk have been retconned so they're enemies. Zeratul has been retconned so he doesn't know what a hybrid is. The Overmind has been retconned so he was a slave of the Dark Voice, and so forth. As a result of all these retcons, the characters in Wings of Liberty bear little resemblance to their counterparts in the original Starcraft. If Blizzard wanted to tell a different story, they should have created new characters, not changing the existing ones to fit the new plot. As a result of all these bad decisions by Blizzard, all Wings of Liberty could ever be was a series of disjointed missions, with a crew of uninteresting characters acting illogically to move the story along. This is a pity, as it could easily have been a great story if Blizzard had just been willing to put a bit more effort into it.